Superhero Roundup Live here on SourceFedNERD. I am Matt Lieberman. Joining me on the couch, Mr. Sam Basher.
That's this boy right here.
Yes, and Mr. DJ Wooldridge.
I'm that boy right here.
We got such a big hour for you. First things first, gotta say, we do the show live every single Friday, 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on SourceFedNERD, youtube.com/SourceFedNERD. So if you're listening to this on SoundCloud or on iTunes, which we are also available on, you should join us live because it's the best way to enjoy the show. You can hit us up in the chat or on Twitter using the hashtag SHRoundup. Sam's going to be grabbing your tweets.
That's
now,
me.
This is the show where we talk about all the superhero news that's fit to print. And also all your favorite superhero TV shows. We're talking about Supergirl. We are talking about Legends of Tomorrow. We are talking about the 2-hour iZombie finale.
Because you demanded it.
You were yelling at us.
Oh boy,
you
were
were
you
screaming
yelling all week on the social media. And of course, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
We also have a lot to discuss. Now, Sam, you and Maude got to go see Marvel's Captain America Civil War this week.
Wait,
And you posted a spoiler-free review on SourceFedNERD.
This morning.
Yes, which you can all check out. There's also some exclusive interviews with Mike Coulter, future Luke Cage. You got to talk to Brett Dalton, who plays Ward/Hive on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Clark Gregg. Yes, Coulson himself.
And the writers of the movie.
It was great. And the writers for Civil War. So, yes,
And
you definitely go
who
check
are
that out.
also the writers of Infinity War.
Yeah, because they're being consistent throughout the whole thing. That's awesome. You guys should definitely go check that out. It's on the channel. Super easy to find, and I think you'll enjoy. We even have a special guest from Variant Comics, Aries Quinones. He was great, and we had a blast.
Hell
Check
yeah.
it out.
Not one spoiler, promise.
Ooh, I'm going to give
Cross
a
my
shout out
heart.
to Bree Stewie 1, who's watching live for the very first time.
Hello.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So a little news before we jump into the shows of the week.
I'm down.
And also I have to talk about this week's Gotham because it is
He has to.
It's a
hot
compulsion.
boiler. Yeah. So Michael Keaton is in talks to play a villain, not necessarily the villain, but a villain in Spider-Man Homecoming.
I hope they do 3 villains in one movie because Spider-Man's never done that before, and I feel like they're ready to tackle it, especially on this 7th time. Sorry, 6th. 6th time around. There you go.
I wouldn't be angry if we just cut straight to the Sinister Six because the Spider-Man's been active for a while, and you could just not every villain needs a huge origin story. A lot of villains are just cool powers and a cool costume, and you're good to go.
Nope, DJ, they all have to fall into something.
Yeah.
Fall into something, come out something else.
Yeah.
Because Sandman fell in the sand trap.
That's the other thing,
Electro
most
fell
of-
in the electricity.
He
Yeah.
fell right in that big, watery electrical pot thing.
Oh,
Guys,
no,
who
he
do
got
you-
bit by electric eels.
Now there's been no
that makes more sense.
There's been no word on what villain he is playing. The popular rumor is Vulture. Gee whiz, I wonder why that is. Ha ha, Birdman, ha ha ha.
But also, Vulture was like the big rumor last week, too, before casting was even announced, that
True.
Vulture was going to be the villain of this movie.
I don't like the idea of Michael Keaton as Vulture. He just doesn't seem like Vulture to
What do
me.
you think for Spider-Man 4 that Sam Raimi wanted John Malkovich to
Yes.
play Vulture?
Just
which
yes,
would've been
or
awesome.
Ben Kingsley. He'd
Yeah.
be my Vulture.
Ben Kingsley plays everybody.
Yeah,
Ben
he
Kingsley
does.
could be
Anybody
fucking
who's not
anyone.
familiar with Vulture as a character, why does Michael Keaton not embody Vulture to you?
Vulture's like slender, cranky old man, and not that Michael Keaton can do whatever villain they want him to do. Probably it just doesn't. I honestly, I would cast him as Norman Osborn. I think he'd kill it as Norman.
Yeah, you had a
Osborn.
good
And
argument.
Don't make him the main villain because we don't need that. But literally, if you want Green Goblin for movie 3, have Norman Osborn around for those 3 movies.
Right.
He should be. I want them. I don't think the Amazing Spider-Man movies did a good enough job with Spider-Man supporting cast. And I want to see some of that. Like I would like Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy to just both be in this movie. And screw it. Let's have those characters.
You want a love triangle?
Sure.
I would actually like, when you were talking about that, I thought it'd be fun to have Norman Osborn, like this is also a trope that has happened many times before, but as like a mentor type person for Spider-Man, because he's obviously an inventor. He he built his little, or if they do that in this movie, whatever they want to do, but like that would be interesting.
Well, and think of if they're trying to incorporate Iron Man, Tony Stark, you could have like the dueling father figures of Norman Osborn and Tony Stark, and like, there's a lot of compelling
if they
stuff you
wanted
can
And there
do.
can be that sort of that hurt of he picked Tony and not me. I need to be superhuman on some level to have this guy's respect.
Or
what if Michael
maybe-
Keaton versus Robert Downey Jr. in like kind of like just a word.
That would be the coolest
jousting.
thing.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton's a great actor. I threw out a quiz, one of those polls on Twitter.
What was your joke answer?
Sam was
I didn't-
dressed like
I
a
didn't do a
pregnant
joke
woman.
answer.
Okay, because
because-
people always pick the joke answer.
Yeah, exactly. I actually was going to throw in J. Jonah Jameson because he'd actually be a really good JJJ.
Ooh, yeah.
But I knew everybody would pick it.
DC's
Well, he
got
was
it.
just a
So-
newspaperman in Spotlight.
Yeah, so I didn't do that one. I threw out Vulture, which was the winner at 44%. Norman Osborn, which was 31%. Doc Ock, which I also think he'd do a really good job at.
Oh, wow.
Is 13%. And I threw in Chameleon just because he was the only other. The other one I was thinking was Jackal, but I didn't think anybody know who
People
I
are
was talking
saying Mysterio too, which like I'm not
I wouldn't-
necessarily excited by that.
I wouldn't want that. That wouldn't be first choice.
Yeah.
And also, he would be fine in Vulture. Like Michael Keaton. Like
He's a talented actor.
He can
He's
do
just
whatever he
not-
wants.
The other thing, if we're talking about J. Jonah Jameson, I think they should bring it full circle and have Bruce Campbell play J. Jonah Jameson.
That's cool.
and he'd be
That'd
good.
so
He would be
cool.
great. Sweater
Can he play
Yam says,
anything,
"I
at
want
least?"
a proper Rhino. He's my favorite Spider-Man villain, and I love the banter they have back and forth."
just
Paul
bring back-
Giamatti did great.
Yeah, Paul. No, but you bring seriously. No, he did. It wasn't his fault though. Bring him back. He's a really good actor.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, Rhino's actually the villain of my favorite Spider-Man story of all time.
Really?
Yeah, it was
That's
a
cool.
two-parter written by Joe Kelly. Yeah, it was
Look at that.
so good. It was part of the Brand New Day. That whole
Do we have any
Fine.
concerns that, like, a bunch of stories I read this week said that the title Spider-Man Homecoming is a direct reference to the first story with the black symbiote suit after the first Secret Wars?
People are just going to that because that was the first time Spider-Man had a comic called Homecoming. It's the only thing that it might have in common with is some Avengers show up in that, and Cap and Iron Man will probably show up in this movie.
At
Probably.
Homecoming?
At Homecoming. Honestly,
Yeah.
though,
I would like at least one school dance in this movie.
There will be.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. They're marketing it as
Guarantee
a
it.
John Hughes movie.
Well, it's also supposed to be a reference to the fact that Spider-Man's coming back to the Marvel umbrella and all that stuff. But they've said that this is their version of a John Hughes movie. I'd like it if Spider-Man is trying to figure out, should I while he's busy being Spider-Man, he's trying to figure out, do I ask Gwen Stacy, who's my best friend, do I ask Mary Jane, or do I ask Zendaya? You know what I mean? Like to whatever the school
Or do I
dance is.
ask Harry?
And then,
Right?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah, you could take Harry.
I would actually be really down if this movie was just Spider-Man like, man, how do I be a better hero? And he just stops him with Iron Man and Luke Cage and Daredevil, and it's just kind of like him hanging out with a bunch
Shooting
of
the
Marvel heroes.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm asking
One
for
of my
too much,
favorite
aren't I?
terms. Yes,
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah, you are
No,
asking
but,
just a little bit too
like
much.
that would be just so dope. I'm sorry, but just the idea of this is a guy who actually needs advice from other heroes, and
Yeah.
I want to have him hanging upside down on the web, and you just you just pull out to reveal that he's just surrounded by all the defenders, and they're
Yeah.
just like, hey man, it's okay.
And
We're
that's
all
the
figuring
idea
this
we
out
want.
together.
We want that, but
Yeah.
will it happen?
No.
I guess because I'm of a generation that I was reading comics way before Spider-Man was ever a part of the Avengers. Like he was never going to be part of the Avengers until Brian Bendis and New Avengers. So the characters I like to see Spider-Man hang out with are Daredevil and Luke Cage and Doctor Strange. Like,
Street
I don't
level.
care about seeing Iron Man and Spider-Man hang out. Like it's cool because Spider-Man's now part of that universe. But as a fan, like I'd love to see Spider-Man hang out with Doctor Strange. That'd be so cool.
It would be fun.
I'd love to
I'd
see
be a
in
fan.
Defenders. I feel like it'd be cool if they pulled in one of their A-listers to be a part of the Defenders series, and it'd be cool if Spider-Man was for one episode.
A Mortem in the chat says Harry becomes the new Green Goblin happens because Peter doesn't ask him to the
Ask him
dance.
to the
And he
dance.
takes like the vial of whatever they're making in the school science lab, and
Yeah.
he chugs it,
Chugs
and then he
it.
becomes a giant goblin. In more news, just moving right along with
Sure.
MCU stuff, Kevin Feige, president of Marvel, you may know him.
Sure.
He's always has a baseball cap on. He says that you should guys keep your peepers peeled during summer because we're probably going to get some Captain Marvel announcements, as in director, writer, that kind of spiel. Also, casting.
Right
What is-
around Comic-Con
what is- what
time
does
is when he
summer
projects
mean?
it.
When it's
What is-
warm out.
What does summer mean?
When it's warm out.
Okay, no, but like, what does he mean?
Let's
by
say July.
Yeah,
Let's say July.
the timeline that he projected sounds like Comic-Con or like right before Comic-Con,
But
so
they
he can
don't-
steal any thunder from anybody else.
they don't do Comic-Con anymore.
Well, they didn't
right?
do it last year.
Oh, but there's no
it's
word
not
this year.
It's
Okay.
not confirmed whether or not they're going to come this year. I feel like they'll come back because unlike Civil War, where they have like a definite hit,
Yeah.
they have some movies that do need hype. Like
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, we'll talk about the teaser trailer that came out.
Yeah.
I feel like that needs extra hype.
Ooh, yes.
Thor Ragnarok, they're going to need to hype the shit out of. Like
Guardians of the Galaxy, they're probably fine on.
Right. They didn't need
That's
to.
a sure bet.
Yeah, they didn't need to go this year because they knew they had Captain America Civil War and it was going to crush.
Other people are bringing up in the comments that Tim Miller was talking about. He and
Ryan Reynolds?
no, somebody over at one of the writers over at Fox, the head of the X-Men guys. That Cap? That's not Cap.
Oh, Simon Kinberg?
Kimberg. Yeah, they were trying to make inroads with Marvel to get Spider-Man to hang out with Deadpool.
That was like they said that was a
That's what
quote.
they want. That's what they want, and they're
want.
trying to make that happen. But it's for a variety of reasons.
Impossible.
Spider-Man's
Yeah.
a teenager now, and Deadpool's
Yeah.
R-rated.
Do you want that? Do you want to see the
cares? I want it.
16-year-old hanging out with a 30-year-old?
To be fair, I am loving Spider-Man Deadpool over at Marvel right now. It's
It is
a really good comic.
It's very good. Really quick shout out. This is off topic, but just because I saw the tweet and I like it. The Alpha at Hermeister says, hello from the Bahamas. Love the show. Hashtag SHO Roundup. Hello. It's late there, silly. You need
Bahamas
to
are
sleep.
lovely.
Hey, if we're still talking about Doctor
That's
Strange.
the bluest water I've ever seen in my entire life.
Blue.
Yeah.
Speaking of blues, Doctor Strange has
Strange.
blues in his costume, right?
Uh-huh.
And transition.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that what we're talking about next?
Yeah, we're gonna hop in right in. The trailer dropped this week. We did a full breakdown, whatnot, on the channel 2 days ago when the trailer came out. I kind of lost track of. This week has been a goddamn blur for me. It's about to throw the whole week into a blender.
They've been having you do a lot.
But it's good. The trailer left a lot. I think diehard Marvel fans are pretty happy about it. They're
Yes.
interested in it.
I had another poll there too. We'll talk about that in a minute. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're also going to talk about the Suicide Squad.
Oh,
trailer.
true. But for me, I was left saying, maybe.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
It's the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie. That's what all that is.
Yeah. It definitely looks different than what Marvel has done before. However, it looks
Visually.
exactly like Batman Begins meets Inception.
And a little Matrixy.
And also, it looks like the exact setup for Iron Fist. Like, guy goes on a quest, ends up in a mystical place where he learns magic kung fu. Like,
Pretty
isn't that
much.
Iron Fist?
Yes.
Pretty much, yes. Also, Benedict Cumberbatch's American accent is terrifying. He sounds like a goblin man, and he could have just been British. Holy crap, why does he have to be American?
Because he's from Philly.
No.
He's from Philly.
make him
Is that in the
British.
comics that Doctor Strange is from Philadelphia?
He's from America.
You could have just
Stephen
been British.
Frank,
You could have
Stephen
just had him be
Strange
British.
orders his steak with whiz and wit. Wit
Also,
onions.
somebody made a gag out of the posters of Star Trek and the imitation. Is it an imitation game where he's doing the where he's the figures out the codes?
The computer.
And this one in the poster of Doctor Strange where he's in the Sanctum Sanctorum, and they all have it's all with his back to the poster. Yeah.
That's funny.
Like the front
I'm
one.
still excited for this movie, and this movie didn't make me less excited. It was a strange step forward or whatever.
Here's
What?
Are you tired, Sam? Something
You
tells
saw me
you're
before we
tired.
started this. I was napping.
Yeah, he was out. Here's what I want. Here's what I'm not gonna get. I want Marvel to do something really different.
Yeah.
And I don't want an Ant-Man where it's mostly the same with little moments of different, and it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get that because that's what the trailer looks like.
It
like,
feels
hey,
closer to different than anything.
It's the most different looking.
She does spirit punch the soul out of his body.
Right.
When has Iron Man done that?
I'm hoping that this trailer is most of the like, hey, you guys like Christopher Nolan? Here's all the Christopher Nolan stuff in the movie, and then the rest of the movie. Like when he's full on Doctor Strange, does some weird trippy stuff because the stuff with Mads Mikkelsen reminds me a lot of the Dark Elf from fucking Thor, Dark World.
See, I thought that was like a different kind of visual. I thought that shot was like the best part of the whole trailer was just like that trippy, like
falling
shifting
through the
dimension.
Yeah,
New York,
like that was really neat. Like I understand the comparisons to Inception, but I also personally don't see it. I can see why you would feel that way, but just because you have multiple versions of a cityscape in one shot doesn't make it Inception, which had it just bending upwards.
Yeah,
They weren't like matching though. They were all like
They're
lining
all
up.
different planes.
They are.
That's what's cool about it to me is it's an entirely different thing.
And him getting flicked into like the crevices of reality and then sliding through dimensions. Like
more
that's
of
cool.
that, please.
Yeah.
More of that, please. The other thing is this trailer seems to go out of its way to not use the word magic, and I don't. Marvel has a tendency to apologize for itself.
And
it's in the like, oh, you're Ant-Man? What a stupid name. I know it's a stupid name. I'm sorry, but I'm still Ant-Man. Like, no, you're making a Doctor Strange movie. It's magic. Don't try and explain it as some fourth dimensional bullshit or some alien tech or that it's magic. Magic is okay. It's okay if you have aliens and magic in your same universe. It's comic books. Who gives a fuck?
If the president comes out and says that magic is real, it's okay.
In Daredevil season 2, don't they say the M word? Don't they say magic?
Magic.
They're
I
allowed
think
to say
jokingly
the
about
M-word.
like, oh, magic ninjas. Meh.
Yeah, it's magic.
It's
The
magic.
blood vessel is definitely
I
I
magic.
think they
Blood
might have
vessel
just
is
called it
definitely magic.
mystical instead of magic, but I'm okay if they just call it mystical.
That is the scientific term for magic.
Yeah, mysticism.
I am still, well, like I said, I'm still excited. What about you?
I'm still gonna totally go see the movie. I'm sure it's gonna be a blast.
I am hopeful for the movie because I like Doctor Strange a lot. Doctor Strange in the comics is like one of those character actors that you see in a movie, like, it's this guy whenever he shows up in somebody else's thing. The trailer left me wanting.
Okay, the cast is excellent.
The
though.
grass is amazing.
It might be like one of the most pitch perfect Marvel casts ever.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
top to bottom for a solo movie.
Trailer that did get me excited. Sam has a tweet. I'm going to hold
Really
this
quick,
up.
Christopher Hidalgo at Cornet Chris says, I didn't really think that much of Benedict as Strange until I saw the trailer, and now I'm kind of excited. Yeah.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
he looks like Doctor Strange.
The
Continue.
trailer that got me more excited for a movie is the Suicide Squad trailer.
Which I would argue the best trailer they've done so far.
Ooh, I wouldn't say that actually.
Really?
They had a lot of more fun things. Especially my favorite part was with Will Smith and El Diablo, like the dead
Yeah,
shot.
this got me really sold on El Diablo. Like, I
and
did not
for-
care about him at all, but
he
after
is
this, I'm like, I'm ready.
D-list. He is a D-list
He's so low on the
superhero.
level.
He
Watch
looks
him
so
steal the
cool.
whole movie.
Yeah,
I would
it
love
wouldn't
that.
surprise me.
And they got a little bit of Slipknot, like doing his little,
Yeah, a little thing.
And that's
like,
all you need.
Probably the one scene. This isn't. It's me guessing. Is me guessing something a spoiler?
Yes, say it anyways.
Okay, I bet you that shot of him launching the thing is him trying to escape, and he's the guy. There's always one of the guys that are like, there's a bomb in your neck. There's always one person that tests the waters and gets blown the fuck up. Remember that in Arrow? There's always one of those guys. I bet
And
you
it's
he's the guy.
him.
It's that moment. I'm out of
'Cause
here,
he's
guys.
not in the rest of it.
And he goes away.
Is it in Batman Assault on Arkham? They had KG Beast in the Suicide Squad, and he's like, I can get. It's like Amanda Waller's like, you can cross this line, but I really wouldn't do it. So he does it.
There's always the one that
Yeah,
tests the waters.
yeah.
I
Everybody-
bet you Slipknot's the guy.
You have to. You have to have somebody.
Yeah.
I hope there's one other person in the Suicide Squad that they haven't advertised, and it's like, and Nightwing, and
Yeah.
it's like Nightwing, and he tests
That's
it.
it.
Anyways, I thought there's a lot of Harley Quinn and a lot of. It seemed a little bit rushed for the trailer as it was put together. I think in the movie it's gonna obviously flow way better. Just with the flow of the trailer was meh. It's very Harley centric, which is not surprising.
I'm going to predict right now that Harley Quinn will be everybody's either favorite or least favorite character.
I would agree.
It's going to be, there's nobody that's going to be like, oh, she was fine. Everybody's going to be like, she's great or she's awful. And what's interesting to me is that to me, she's making the same exact jokes as Deadpool, and it's going to be way more divisive. And the main difference is she's a girl.
Ooh.
I'm not going to touch that argument.
No,
just- I-
that's on that side of the couch. You let us know in the comments down below. It's not me, it's whatever.
With you, DJ.
Yeah.
I think
because
it's definitely
the
a
joke
part of it.
seemed. I'm interested. I'm interested to see her dynamic with the rest of the team. I'm interested to see the team. I like the idea of like, even though it looks like Will Smith's Deadshot's going to be different than what we expect from the comics. Like I'm excited to see.
Remember when he said, "What are you guys, jokers?"
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
he said. Like it's like, haha,
What are
he
you guys,
said
some
jokers.
kind of Fantastic Four?
What did
Yeah.
you guys think about Joker in the trailer?
He looks a little spooky.
Yeah.
Is he like a threat for the Suicide Squad? That's how they kind of made it. They
Yeah, I
painted
think
it.
it's Joker v Suicide Squad.
Joker and Enchantress v Suicide
Yeah,
Squad.
I think they're
Her
both
eyes.
vying for whatever Enchantress is doing. Because you look at there's those bug people that Katana cuts the head off
Right.
of. I'm assuming that's something Enchantress related.
Mm-hmm.
They try really hard to make it look like she's part of the team. Like when everybody's like, "Oh no, it's Joker!" Like shot of Harley, shot of Deadshot, shot of Enchantress from a completely different part of the movie.
Like way down in New Orleans. Yeah.
But I did another quiz.
Oh,
if you guys are
he
interested.
did a quiz.
This one was a lot more heated. Suicide Squad was killing it for the most part, and then I guess all the Marvel fans caught wind and came out of the woodwork. Over one almost 1,200 votes.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a DJ poll.
Yeah, and it was 50-50 earlier today, and now it's 51% Suicide Squad, 49% Doctor Strange. So basically even. It basically breaks even.
Andrew McClenning in the chat writes, 30 Seconds to Mars collaborating with Will Smith on a song for the soundtrack. I so want that.
That's not happening.
That's
I'm
not
sorry,
happening.
That's not happening.
But wouldn't you love
at all.
it?
But,
That'd
okay.
be great. That'd be a great novelty song, right?
There was a comment there. I don't know if you can find it again, but it's from Brandon McLean, I believe. He said, "Yeah, Joker sent used condoms to people." You know, he talked about how he sent a rat.
Jared Leto.
Yeah. He sent a rat to Margot Robbie. He sent bullets to Will Smith. He sent a dead pig to the whole cast, but then we found out he sent a sticky Playboy to Adewale Akintoye-Agbaji. Killer Croc. And then he sent everybody else used condoms and
it's Jared Leto, so you know he's getting those condoms.
anal beads. Anal beads was the. I thought you were gonna say that one. I was like, you got the anal beads, right?
Did they smell rusty?
I don't know. He was the one saying the story, and he was giggling about
Jared
it.
Leto?
Yeah.
Okay, so do we think Jared Leto's bullshitting?
Probably.
No.
Maybe he's just having fun.
If he did, do you think the cast is like, oh, Jared, or they're like, I hate
this guy.
It's
I
like,
hate him.
fucking Jared brought more used
Yeah.
condoms. He brought more used condoms. Where's he getting all of them? That's funny.
That's
But-
Jared Leto. Have you seen that boy?
Oh, and what's
He's
the
a
last
pretty
little
boy.
piece of news you had? The one that you were really
there's a
excited
couple
about.
cool things. One, Tessa Thompson is in Thor.
Which is great. I love her
Potentially
in
as
Creed.
Valkyrie.
As Valkyrie, which I don't know if I see her. She's such a naturalistic actress. I see her as like a human person, not like a. But I mean, she's good. She was great in Creed. I'm assuming she'll be good in this.
Yeah.
Whatever she is. But the big news, Defenders.
Yep.
They announced the showrunners for Defenders.
Yeah. And it's the showrunners of Daredevil.
Well, with an interesting twist, it's the two guys, but they went out of their way to point out that Drew Goddard is the executive producer on it with them.
Oh.
And here's the one version that could make it cool: is if they had him back and he's going to be writing scripts. That will be cool. Here's my concern: is that he cut a Jon Favreau type deal that is the producer that
No matter what.
that he was always going to be a producer
Right.
on the Defenders.
As long as Daredevil's attached, like he's attached.
Exactly. Which I'm worried is the case because I would love those showrunners did a good job with season 2. I would love me some Drew Goddard scripts for the Defenders.
Yeah, I feel like he burned that bridge real bad when he left to go.
I don't know if
Sinister
I
Six.
wouldn't say he burned the bridge. I would say he left and they burned the bridge behind him.
Got it.
Is my understanding from the leaked Sony letters.
He did cross the bridge.
Yeah,
He
that-
did cross
that
the
is
bridge.
They're like, hey, this bridge, don't cross it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was like, well, let me mind if I do. Don't
Yeah.
mind it. Yeah.
But I'm hoping for some more.
You excited for it?
Yeah, I would be.
Well, why that tone?
Because Daredevil has always flirted with greatness, but there's never been a legitimately awesome season of the show.
There's only 2 to pull.
No, I would say season 2 is pretty solid. I enjoyed
It's solid, but it's not like, you always want more and you always want better. I know I'm just being picky and shitty at this point, but I want it to be the best version of a show that it could be.
Oh, and so your concern is more with the showrunners coming on. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Because like I loved Jessica Jones. That doesn't mean that I want Melissa Rosenberg running the Defenders.
Yeah.
But
because her sensibility wouldn't necessarily fit that.
Right.
Even though I would say for me, Jessica Jones was almost perfect.
Right. But that's the thing is like I don't think that season 2 of Daredevil was almost perfect or
It
even
was
close to
not.
that. And you want them to really hit a home run. Yeah.
Oh, quick. Then we're getting a bunch of comics about buffering.
Yeah, how's that doing?
million. Are we good, guys? Just asking.
Just
Quick
asking.
question.
But anyway, we're out of news real quick because people won't mind if they miss this, if there really is an issue.
Yeah.
I need to just quickly address Gotham
Matt
this week.
loves Gotham.
I don't love Gotham. I just can't stop watching it.
Yeah.
If
What
that
Matt's trying to
makes
say
sense.
is he wants the showrunners of Gotham to run Defenders.
No, I do not. Look, here's what I'll say. Gotham has finally discovered what it is, and that has made it a much better show.
Literal garbage.
They're not trying at all to take themselves seriously. They are just doing the most
don't know.
ridiculous,
You were telling me
weird
some-
Batman show that they can.
You were selling some plot points that say that they're taking it way seriously.
No,
Okay.
They're taking it to some
no,
sort of extreme.
they're it's like Batman Returns. It's like extreme brutality played as camp.
Okay.
Where in this episode, legitimately, the Penguin has been reconnecting with his birth father and that his birth father's wife and her 2 kids. So his like stepmom and stepkids, step siblings, and his dad is poisoned by the stepmom. And then he becomes their personal slave for no reason. And then there is a scene where the Penguin is pelted repeatedly with dinner rolls, and then he later kills and cooks the two step siblings and feeds them to their mother, and it's played almost as like funny. Yup, that's this show in a nutshell. But it also featured a pretty solid Gordon story, where it was him versus a self-actualized Edward Nygma as the Riddler, and it actually works pretty well. Hey! Welcome back to Superhero Roundup here on SourceFedNERD. I am Matt Lieberman, and joining me on the couch, as always, Mr. Sam Basher.
This is weird. All right.
Mr. DJ Wooldridge.
Here's my concern.
This is the show where we talk about all your favorite superhero news
and DJ's
TV
concerns.
Yeah, DJ, do you have a concern?
My concern is that something went wrong.
Yeah.
And so right now this has been divided into two halves. We are figuring out what the final version of this video will look like.
Yeah.
But there will be a full version of it, if nothing
Available.
else, on iTunes and SoundCloud.
Right.
There will probably be a full version up later today. So you can enjoy it in all your watching pleasure. But now we did our news, Defenders, the trailers, all that
And
fun
we went
stuff.
through all of our shows, so this is just an
This is
outro.
it. Yeah,
So,
this is
guys,
it. No, we
thank you
did.
so much.
Stay tuned.
Yeah,
Stay tuned, please.
Yeah, so to be clear, this is part 2 of Superhero Roundup for this week. The first part was a stream, and for some reason it went down. We're back up. We're going to talk about all your favorite shows. We're going to talk about Supergirl.
I
We're going
blame
to
you
talk
wanting
about
to talk about
iZombie.
Gotham. The street killed itself.
Somebody sent a bug in, and
Yeah,
they shut down our
Penguin
internet.
cooked our stream and fed it to us. We're gonna talk about Supergirl, iZombie,
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Legends of Tomorrow.
Be excited.
Let's
Cool.
jump right in with Supergirl talk.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Myriad, huh?
Wow, we had
We've
to-
been waiting
we had
all
to
season for this
Start
one.
with our slowest episode of TV this week. Actually, I thought
man.
there was a lot of like, hey, in all of our shows, hey, let's talk about things in a room for a minute.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, there's going to be a lot coming soon.
Yeah,
But
we're gonna have some
we
killer
gotta-
finales,
we gotta
but we
save
gotta
money.
save some money right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm getting a little thirsty when I get excited about these.
Oh.
shows. Sorry, that was a
It's
bit
secret.
I've been waiting for. There's a, just, but
Why are
there's
you
a,
waiting for right now? Because I
Why-
saw
No,
this
I was
moment.
earlier. I was about to do it, but then the thing started looping. So
Maybe it was your bit that killed the stream.
maybe it was the bit. that
Maybe
rumbled.
the stream had a Jon Favreau type deal.
There you go.
Right. Things I liked about this episode. I actually thought it started with a lot of energy. Her trying to stop the aliens from being released. We
Yep,
got to see
her versus Maxima was
Maxima
great.
was.
I love Maxima.
I like Maxima the character. This was definitely the campy version of Maxima, which is
Yeah.
fine. It's not like Maxima has a huge fan following.
Not the most serious character in the world.
No.
That actress was a WW something wrestler.
Is she?
Yeah, something. I'm going to say WWE. By the way, guys, let's give a round of applause for our production team
Thank
for
you,
bringing
guys.
the.
Yeah.
They're all walking out because they fixed the problem. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
I liked
They don't watch this show.
No.
Indigo versus Martian Manhunter. I thought that was
Yes.
the most action we got in the episode. I liked
You
Cat-
almost got some with Sister and Supergirl, which actually looked kind of dope.
which
the
we'll
costume.
see next episode.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see, and I liked Supergirl being stuck with just Cat Grant and Max. I would have been fine if it was just Cat Grant. If it was just Melissa Benoist and
And
Callista,
Cat Grant,
and Callista
super,
Flockhart.
perfect. No
Fucking
need
fantastic.
to justify it. Let's just, yep.
But and also Nan actually becomes sort of a character almost. When
little.
he's like, hey, listen, I
Almost.
saved the whole city in a second. What have you done? I saved the world.
He was busy not being tricked by the red kryptonite on the building fire.
Yeah,
Sorry. He may have flown to it.
And so I actually like that I was actually kind of compelled by him for once.
Okay.
God, for the love of God, stop bringing back the Supergirl actress from the 80s.
Didn't
Oh
bother
my
me.
God,
I
I
actually
hate her.
really
I think she's
liked her.
great.
I thought I
No.
really liked her in this episode, and I love that moment where they remembered that she's a scientist and she's
Yeah.
trying to figure out how Martian Manhunter works.
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I didn't buy it for 2 seconds. Yeah, the dialogue's fun. I just didn't buy it. Like she's saying it, I'm like,
But
stop.
something
are
Sam
the cue
said
cards
to
on
me,
the other side.
something Sam said to me before is he liked her a lot more on Smallville.
Weird. She played Clark's mom, like Clark's birth mom, and like there was a weird, dumb storyline where she came back and it was actually her, and she acted the crap out of that scene.
Maybe
and
maybe you just liked her better because everybody else is so much
Tom
more,
Welling
so more wooden on
was a
Smallville.
big lead weight that like dragged the show down. So when she's right here,
Speaking of Smallville, though, something I'd like to see is Allison Mack, who played Chloe, make a cameo. And honestly, I'd like them to see them pull a Flash. Remember that lady that was on the old 90s show Flash, and they just brought her back as the same character?
Yep.
I'd like to see
Mark
her
Hamill.
see her come back.
Yeah,
well,
Mark
no,
Hamill.
but her back as have her Allison Mack come back as Chloe Sullivan. Just as this universe is Chloe Sullivan.
Not a big deal.
Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be fun. I like her.
She
I mean,
was my
she's the-
favorite part of the show, other than Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
She was one of my favorite parts
I mean,
of the
she
show.
made it 10 years without any. Well, she went through some shit, but
No,
yeah.
was she in the last season?
She became a recurring.
Guys,
role,
we're
but
not
she was in
talking
it.
about Smallville. We're
No,
talking about
sorry.
Let's talk about
Supergirl.
Smallville
That
for a
was the
minute.
fifth
Can we
show.
talk about, if we're talking about Superman, let's talk about the big surprise appearance this episode. Superman was in the episode. He was flying towards National City
stopped.
and then stops and goes down on the ground and is just walking around like everybody else. If you were non and you were controlling everybody
had Superman?
and you had Superman and you just want to milling around like some schmuck?
No, but here's the deal, though. He has an army of Supermen.
Yes.
No, I don't.
Maybe
wait,
this is the
why
thing.
did why is Supergirl even in the equation anymore if he's got Superman? Why is it?
Because he needs to stop her. Because she's not being affected. She's the one person that could stop her. Which
How?
I guess maybe this might tie into maybe he really doesn't want to take over the world. Like he doesn't want a
I
violent
like that
takeover.
reveal of what the
he
plan
wants
is.
to save the world, and so having an army of Kryptonians murdering a bunch of people doesn't really fall in line with his plan.
All he has
Although
to
I
do
guess
is-
sending Jimmy and Wynn to jump to their deaths along with the one red shirt.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Kelly, are
actually
you
wearing a
okay?
red
Wow,
shirt?
you're gonna die, aren't you?
They
You're-
gave you a name for some reason.
Yeah.
You're done
Boy,
As
no.
soon as you name them, they die.
Yep.
They
I think
didn't
that would have been
mean-
more effective if it was like that whole office. That whole office got up and jumped, and Supergirl was able to save like 6 or
Okay,
7
but
of them.
like seriously, she's Supergirl. She's got super speed. She could have caught Red Shirt.
yeah, she
Kelly.
could've. And that was,
She coulda caught
It was
Kelly.
weirdly
She
shot
coulda
and
caught
edited to
Kelly.
where it was like, why didn't she get her? I looked like she was right there.
Because Kelly doesn't matter.
Sage
don't care about
Hoist
Yeah.
at Sage and Bloom. What? Superman, huh? Oh my god, he's. Well, shit.
Yeah.
Right? That's what everybody said because he had a kindergartner's brain. Sorry.
I do.
What did he say?
Hasn't there been some research? I'm going off the reservation here, guys. Please help me out.
Oh, with
here.
comic books?
No, but like I do think there's been brain studies. The experiences you have kind of rewrite the way your brain works.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe.
Definitely. Also, there's been a study on being struck by lightning when holding another person that they get powers. I believe that is the science
I
behind
did like
that.
the
yeah.
way Maxwell Lord said that, like the way he was kind of like, turns out having Sesame Street and whatever, having a kindergarten teacher made Superman vulnerable to the attack. It's like that was his delivery made that.
I
fun.
liked him a lot. I will say I liked him a lot this
He's good.
episode, and
Yeah.
especially when it came to the parent stuff. I'm like, all right, you're adding more, but like
Yeah.
the writers are trying to make him more relatable. But I'm like, you're starting to at least like with with Maxwell Lord, with everybody. It's like they're not going out and just being
Yeah.
evil. It's like they're both like they're doing deliberate choices because they want to make their world a better place.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's for everybody else or for just them, but they're still trying to make it a better place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I liked his like reasoning. It was like no one will listen to me because I was the know-it-all. Like
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I mean,
I
That's
mean,
fair. I
you
get
are
it.
kind of a
Luke
jerk. I
Stewart
get it.
says, I'm not watching Supergirl ever again because Kelly died.
Kelly was my favorite.
Yep.
Kelly.
She's my favorite Kelly. Yeah, RREE says, no, Kelly, can't believe they killed off major comic book character Kelly.
Kelly.
she
They would-
is pretty.
you know
Had
what?
her
prominent.
own
You know
book
what?
back in the 70s.
If they were Zack Snyder, that would have been like some sort of major character we've all been waiting to see, and she shows up right then and then jumps off the roof.
Yep.
Jimmy Olsen and Batman v Superman.
That was a good one. Remember execution style.
Kelex, loved seeing Kelex again.
I like Calyx too.
And I loved personally, just my favorite part of the episode was just Hank and Alex on the run. I liked the scene
I
on the
couldn't
bus.
I forgot for a second. I was like, "Who the hell's this blonde? Is she a Kryptonian? Like
Yeah,
that lost her
who's
powers
this?
or something?" I was like, "Oh,
I
little
would-
boy's got red eyes."
I
All
would have
right.
been fine if Superman had just stayed off planet. Like
Yep.
when Kellex is like, no,
Yes.
he's saving another
100%.
planet. Good.
Done. Saved.
I love that he's got his cell phone on him at all times. He was able to
Yeah, he
text
was able
her.
to
A
text her
space cell phone, too?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, if
actually.
he's got Calyx, like, hey, can you boost this a little bit?
do you
Booster
do you
Gold?
guys want to see Superman next season?
Just
Because I'm
No,
kind of
well,
tired of the games.
I promise we'll see him next week. And if we don't, that's why they don't get.
They should just
season
have
two.
the death of Superman plotline play out off screen and just, okay,
Doomsday.
Superman's
He's
dead.
And
No,
should
I don't
Supergirl
like
go?
it.
It's like I don't.
I got a job here. I
Yeah.
got to go to work.
As soon as she like decides to take off, he's like, damn it. Shit. All right. Well. All right.
Yeah. Number rating for this episode is pretty standard. Not really exciting.
6. I
Six?
didn't care really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say 6. It was It was so boring. Like, there were like elements that I enjoyed, but it was a boring hour of television to the point that I zoned out twice and had to go back and rewatch.
I found the show, this episode, slow and obviously a setup for the next episode, but overall pretty entertaining. I'll give it a 7.5.
All right,
fair enough. Let's talk about Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It was an
which
okay episode with interesting ideas.
Interesting ideas.
But I think a little bit more entertaining.
Didn't quite have the momentum of the last couple weeks.
Oh, no.
But I enjoyed the Malik flashbacks.
Yeah, they did some interesting stuff with the villains this week.
Well, no,
emotionally, that was
Oh, you're saying you didn't like them, or the pain of it?
Pain. I enjoyed them, and I thought they were really interesting, especially when it came to Hive. And thank you for actually having Hive look like Hive, from the comics.
We actually have a picture of the comics version next to Matrixy Hive, and I don't ever need to see the main face. Cool, he looks like he does in the comics.
Yeah, we'll
when
see
he's
it,
on
though.
Disguise.
We'll see.
I don't need it.
Davy Jones. We'll see
Davy Jones.
Yeah,
and they adapted a little bit because in the comics he was basically Starro. He threw little starfish on your face and could control you. The equivalent now is his
little slugs,
spores that get inside you,
but only controlling Inhumans.
But way to make him 100, because we were all bummed because Ward was really interesting
and scary,
and then he was just the general bad guy. But it turns out he has the baggage of every person he ever possessed. That's really cool. Everybody's crazy. He's a 100-car pileup of crazy.
Of like all these Hive dudes too, who are all super crazy.
You know what's weird though? Like, why did he do it now instead of right when he came back? Like, he had these memories. Like,
just feeling out. Well, maybe he's sifting through the different memories.
Maybe
he's dealing with the most recent one was Ward, so like he's dealing with kind of backwards. He's kind of like. But please keep that in mind. I'm hoping the show doesn't it's not a fun little drop and then they forget it. Like, I hope that plays into his characterization.
It was fun to think backwards from the events you saw in the flashbacks and thinking just how the little bits and pieces Ward would do just to fuck with Malik, with the stone in the rib and the leg. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, okay, it's spooky.
Yeah.
Also, why would you not do the rock in the bag thing? I know it's an honor thing for something your body to.
But if you could cheat it, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, honor. I get it, but really,
what's the name of the astronaut that he absorbed? That
good question.
Will?
Oh, Will.
Okay, so. Not only does he have all these creepy, crazy guys in there, evil people, but he also has the memories of Will.
He could fuck with Gemma.
That's what I'm saying. Not only could he fuck with Gemma, but I wonder if on some level, it seems like he
care
was
for her.
Exactly, because he's carrying out the final wishes and feelings of Malik's brother. So I have to wonder.
That could be really cool. They could do some and they did good stuff with Malik this week. Powers Booth is great. And
he is.
So he does. I love those actors in these shows. Because they bring a sense of legitimate, because they're so good, they just kind of
he was at
everybody else's game.
He was at the premiere. I've never seen someone look so confused before. He didn't need to be there at all. He's not wondering what's gonna happen with Team Iron Man, Team Cap.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys. I found the whole Lincoln Daisy side trip pretty forgettable.
Oh, he murdered. No, he didn't.
No,
he murdered. No, he didn't murder anybody.
He didn't murder.
Nobody got murdered.
But the Australian was there.
I thought Australian was going to give him the crystal, and I was like, cool. This is going to be New Hunter. He's going to be New Hunter. He's part of the Secret Warriors. He's got his power is wisecracks.
And his name was James, and everybody's freaking out it must be JT who's Hellfire. Everybody wants Hellfire. Everybody wants somebody to be a Hellfire. They don't care if he's actually like the Hellfire from the comics. They just want a guy with a flaming chain.
Great.
Wait, and quick question: Secret Warriors based is Manifold a mutant? I thought he was a mutant.
Yes,
but he was teased in.
Yeah, because he was trained by Gateway, who's another Aboriginal dimension bending person.
Of course,
yeah,
like they have,
like you do. That's a character we'll probably never see in the X-Men movies. No. Gateway. But I liked them trying to get, I can't remember his name, but psychic dude can move.
He actually was very, very scary. Before he was just he's telekinetic. All right, that's not scary. Yeah. But really, it's
it turns out he was a badass before he had powers.
He can fight. Man,
although, I don't know
fucked
why.
Up May.
once they get him trapped, as cool as it was, May's there and they fight and that's fucking cool. Why didn't you just pump gas in the room? Why is this a?
We did it with Lash.
Yeah.
Can't do it with this guy?
Pump gas in the room.
Maybe
but his escape
gas?
was really cool. That guy's a badass.
He is. No, he threw the seatbelt through the dude's head just immediately.
fuck?
And like I
then
thought he
when
was gonna
throws
crash
that,
it.
throws that like what was it, a fire extinguisher through the door? It's like, you know what? If you'd hit Lincoln with that force, he would have been done.
He did hit him with it. Remember, he did.
Yeah, but not that kind of force, not door destroying force.
So he was pretty cool, and I'm like, okay, you're dying soon, and I know that, but like, at least you got a good episode out of your run on Shield. I appreciate it.
And now they're all captured, and now we get to see the Secret Wars, which we're all excited about.
Yeah, here they go. We gotta get the team together.
Yeah, the team
Yo, she doesn't remember your fucking names. You saw her for an afternoon.
Yeah.
I'd give this episode a 7. A little bit of a mediocre week, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah, it was pretty light week, except for iZombie, which was fabulous.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess I would give this episode like a 7. I enjoyed the flashbacks until I saw where they were going, and then I was like, "You're drawing this out way too long." Really quickly, before we give all the number grades, did anyone else get creepy incesty vibes from Malik and his daughter? Because I totally thought she was his wife until she called him dad.
Oh no, I knew that for a while.
I knew it was his daughter, but I
thought it was creepy incesty if Ward has the memories of her uncle,
and she's like,
weird.
"Oh, man, he's so foxy."
That was a moment that I was really glad played out different, because I'm like, I don't want her to be the Lady Macbeth to Hive, and then I don't know if it was earned.
Where she's banging her uncle.
Yeah, but then he kills her, and I was like, cool, good. I'm good with this. I'm good with the. For me, I guess I'm for the guy that's supposed to hate everything on the couch. It's 8. It was 8, but it's fine. I was entertained.
Great, solid.
Yeah, no, 7 for me it's entertaining. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. But how do you feel about Legends of Tomorrow, DJ?
I liked it. For the most part.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, no, fine.
I am consistently entertained by this show. It seems to have a can't fail premise, except for the fact that it has trouble reaching the heights sometimes, but there's still always the Old West bar fight was fun. Like, that's just fun.
Rory and Sarah drinking.
Basically, it was like my 2 favorite characters had a cool conversation, and then my next 2 favorite characters had a cool. I wish they'd play. I want to see Snart and Stein interact more. I feel like you could get more out of that. And great job not having Mick and Snart have their guns, and get like Mick being a boss in a fist fight and Snart being a great sharpshooter.
That was cool.
The final fight was really cool. I know we've played that beat a few times, but it was really cool for me. I was let down by Jonah Hex.
Yes.
Not that he was bad, he was just there. And I feel like Jonah Hex should be a scene stealer. I feel like the first thing we should be like, oh, Jonah Hex, but it was more like, oh, he was there.
He's teaming up. He knows what time travel is and everything. And I'm like, I liked him. From having the one time he was in that animated episode of the Justice League. No, because I've only seen Justice League Unlimited.
He was also in the one episode of Batman.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
but I liked him in this, and I was kind of disappointed by the Hunters because they really hyped him up the last time the show was on.
They killed them immediately.
Basically 3 Chronos.
Which Adam flew through,
He flew through a man.
He flew through him. And I was saying the only way to make that more shocking is if he expanded inside of him and exploded.
Yeah.
Which, if we don't get that by the end...
I would like to see a villain with the Atom suit do something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, if in future with the robots, if they could shrink too and like sneak into places. And
that's too violent. That's way too violent.
It's horrifically violent.
I really liked Old Kendra.
Old Kendra is the one thing I
wish Jonah Hex had as much presence as Old Kendra.
Yeah.
And that was just a depressing story. It was like, no, it's just going to happen over and over and over again. Sorry.
Can I just say, like, I genuinely love this show, and I think that it's really good most of the time. This episode was really fucking dopey. In my opinion.
It wasn't.
No, there were things that I enjoyed. Yeah, that barroom fight. Yeah, that's a thing I could have seen coming a mile away that was executed exactly the way that this show would execute that. There was nothing original or interesting. There was no reason to go back to the Old West other than to have Jonah Hex, which should have been, other than have Jonah Hex, which like should have been great, and instead was just kind of just kind of fine. I liked Old Kendra. I thought that was a good twist on the Kendra discovering herself shit.
Yeah, like, except I wish you would find the escape velocity from Guy stuff. I wish you would have something other than, oh, I like Ray, but I'm soulmate.
It's kind of dragging the show down. And then also, are we meant to believe that in this universe, H.G. Wells was going to die, unequivocally, just going to die, And then Martin Stein is the only reason why he's alive,
Yes.
which like would make sense if the time travel in this universe worked the way it did on Lost, where everything that's happening now already happened and always happened exactly the way that it was supposed to. And he had always done that. But no, that's not the rules of this shit. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
I mean,
And
I don't know how to
the
say it better.
hunters look like rejects from your Saturday paintball game.
They did because they were literally
But
wearing a
how-
mask that I have purchased before when I played it as a kid.
How cool was it though when Mick Rory took down that
old man?
hunter? The old hunter, he pulled the sword out from his back, which I don't know why the guy wasn't using his own sword, but I liked it. I was entertained.
I
was just
enjoyed it.
I was disappointed by Jonah Hex. I'm not even sure. I think that actor could probably do a pretty good Jonah Hex. They just needed to crank it up a little bit more.
I like that
He needed
Adam,
to be more.
he offered to fix his face. And he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, never mind.
Nothing.
I also like that we explain all of Rip's weird westerny vibe shit that he loved being in the West. Because why wouldn't you?
That is true, and I
How
like
cool
that
would that be?
we were dealing with like what could have been a strong theme, which is that when you're a hero, you like being a hero, and sometimes you get more off on the opportunity to be a hero than actually do what would serve the world best with your ability.
Yeah.
Like that's a cool idea that I felt like wasn't really executed super well. Let's see. Bryn Montgomery writes in the chat, the problem with Legends of Tomorrow is that it lacks purpose. They just seem to go different places randomly with no apparent plan, which is exactly what's going on.
Okay.
It's exactly the problem.
But I got the best scene, probably one of the best scenes from the series thus far. This is a tweet from Adam Collier. Ray's scene where he stops the guy as the sheriff was the coolest scene in the series, where he stops him when he is the sheriff. But when I misinterpreted the tweet, I love the scene when he becomes the sheriff and he goes in to talk to him and the sheriff is leaving and packing up his bags. How is that not the fucking coolest thing ever? I thought that was so cool. I know it's happened before, but it was the only time Ray's ever been actually cool.
I also like that they're putting Ray in that position because Brendan Routh is so good as that kind of like Gary Cooper, like I'm the good guy, you know what I mean? Like, although I don't know why when like we're gonna have to do an old-fashioned drawdown, and Jonah Hex doesn't volunteer, and Snart doesn't volunteer, who we've clearly established as being a pretty dope shot, and it's
and like a good quick draw too.
yeah, and like Ray's like, I guess I'll do it, and everybody's like, cool, fine, and until Rip's like, no, it'll be me, which thematically played out, but like, why didn't
I like
people
that Rip wears Jonah Hex's coat. Isn't that great? Isn't that worth spending 40 minutes to learn?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just did not like this episode.
And then Jonah got the space pistol.
I hope he kept the space pistol. I hope he kept the space pistol.
Like, Jonah Hex is supposed to be, like, dealing with shit coming from backwards and forwards in time all the time. He should be fighting fucking dinosaurs and shit. This is a waste.
I would like Jax. The AV Planes 1. Once again, Jax gets captured this episode. He's been captured too many times.
A few times.
Yeah, better than having it be the girls all the time. Speaking of which, I
true,
like Sarah
but-
and I like Sarah and Kendra's rapport.
I do too.
I do
But
too.
I want
like Sarah
Jax
with
to
everybody.
have.
Sarah's the best part of the show.
I want
She
Jax
says-
to have a little bit more screen time and a little bit more development.
A little bit less getting kidnapped.
Yeah.
And one-liners when he throws fireballs.
Yeah.
But the Pilgrim seems cool. I like the idea that they're gonna have to go back in their own histories.
Here's the thing. After this episode, I reached a place where, as much as I like the show in general, I no longer trust it with its own potential. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Where it introduces a lot of cool ideas and often squanders them almost immediately.
I would love at the end of the Pilgrim episode, which obviously they're gonna probably all get out just fine. Then at the end they're like, oh no. They're sending the master. He's coming in right, and he is the number one.
Who else are they going to send after us?
He's
Just
the number
fucking
one
go
villain.
meet the Time Masters, have them approve your shit, and then go find Vandal Savage so we can finish this fucking season already. Fuck.
No.
What did you guys rate it?
It was 7.
7.
4.
Oof. I'll give it an 8. I
was worse than
was
Supergirl?
entertained. I was entertained by this episode as I was by Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
All right.
They're very different, even though they're very different types of things.
Yeah, Sam, I give this a lower rating than Supergirl because my expectations for Supergirl are a lot lower. The premise is just pretty boilerplate. Superhero, save the world. This show can be whatever it fucking wants to be, and it delivered that hour? Mm-hmm. Hell no.
Yes.
4.
Oh,
There you go.
What about the 2 hours that were great?
Guys, we're now coming to the things that you have demanded.
You've been screaming,
Screaming
throwing
us up.
tantrums.
Yeah.
Slapping us on the neck.
iZombie.
iZombie. 2-part finale.
Now, Sam, you have not been keeping up. this season.
No, and it's not because I don't think the show's good. It's just we
you're a
got
busy boy.
enough.
Yeah,
There's enough.
you're a busy boy. iZombie, of the shows that we've ever reviewed, and people giving us crap for dropping it. This is Superhero Roundup, and iZombie is technically not a superhero show. So when you've got Supergirl and all this other stuff, we get Legends Tomorrow, all that stuff, what's going to get cut? iZombie probably. But one of the things that these 2 episodes had in spades, and it's a magic trick that I haven't quite figured out, because you've got this whole thing of like, oh, Batman v Superman is too dark, and Marvel movies are too funny, and the iZombie is in this magical place where it's fun and it's lighthearted, and yet it can be so gut-wrenching, and the stakes are so. This episode, I feel like the writers' room had a note on the wall that said, make it worse. Whatever situation, like, oh, we're going to go get the bodies that Major has stored. Max Rager already has them. Like, everything that they thought to do, it just kept getting worse somehow.
These 2 episodes have never made me feel, excuse me, I've never felt this uncomfortable watching a show. And like, I don't mean it like I couldn't watch it. It's just like, it can't be this bad.
Yeah.
Like, things can never be this bad.
Really
but
turned the screws.
It was all really well executed, and I loved the writing. And God, Ken Marino is fantastic.
Yeah, and Sam, I don't even think these were the best episodes of the season. They were really good. I don't think they were the best of the season.
Yeah, it could be argued, but like together, like put together, they're pretty freaking fabulous. Ken Marino was amazing. That whole first hour where like Major is arrested and you know his time is running short. He's about to go full Romero,
shit really hits
and
the
just
fan.
like at every single twist and turn,
And
things get
the
worse.
bar was the one that I was like, I just fuck everything.
Yeah,
like,
the chocolate bar?
Oh, it's not the
Chocolate
exact
brain
one.
bar?
My dog ate the exact
Yeah.
one. I'm like,
My
Are you
shit,
kidding me?
but you knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
You knew it, and like he's eating it, and she's like, "Come on, act like a normal person." And I thought I wanted him to snap. I would have liked to seen it in prison where he snaps like a little bit, but he can kind of like you can see them fighting it as much as possible.
Poor Clive.
I know,
They
Clive
ruined
finally.
Clive's. Here's one of my nitpicks.
Little nitpick.
Can I give you a little nit?
Give a
DJ's
nit.
nitpicks.
Why didn't Clive tell
Basio everything,
Basio everything?
which he
We
believed
can,
in.
we can trust Basio. Have Liv come do her little knife trick.
Can
You mean
Liv?
stab
Can you
herself?
come do your little knife trick?
Liv, can you come do your
so
little
I
knife
can
trick
explain to
real
my
quick?
girlfriend why I
'Cause we
blew up
trust
both our
Basio.
My
lives.
girlfriend's not understanding why I'm not home
Yeah.
on time. Can you
I
come do your
don't-
knife trick?
I hope this is not the last we've seen of Basio. I like Clive and Basio.
Yeah, I like that little interplay where he's like, "Are you trying to just keep me late after
Yeah,
shift or whatever?"
I like all the characters on the show so much.
I think that's one of the reasons why it stands out versus any of the other shows we watch. Is like every character is well-rounded and fun to watch.
Would you go? I completely forgot. And I had to ask Matt.
Every character.
But that
even gun salesman
that's,
guy.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown back up in the
Since
season.
he sold the guns.
yeah.
In
And
season
so I
one.
didn't recognize him at all. But I was like,
Once he starts talking about the guns and Clive's
Yeah.
able to get him for that, and you're like,
I was so excited for the
shit.
reveal. He's like, "Can you tell me what you sold?" He's like, "Yeah, I think I sold." Like, and like it's
Yeah.
they're very
It's
specific
yeah,
weapons.
44 Magnum, 12 gauge Grizzly, and a hand grenade.
Yeah, and the hand grenade was like,
Even
boom.
threw in a
and
hand
Clive,
grenade.
it's paying off threads that they've set up since Clive was on to Major halfway through season 1.
Yeah, man.
And I forgot like why there was piss on the ground. I was like, "Why is there piss?"
Because he was
He was being held captive.
captive
Yeah,
that
and I
whole
was like,
time.
okay.
Fuck, man, so good. And then the second episode where they decided like, hey guys, you want full on zombie movie? We'll give you full on.
I think we should expect
With
full
Rob
on.
Thomas!
With Rob Thomas!
That was
From the show
amazing.
created by
we
Rob
had 2
Thomas.
guest stars because Ken Marino is a classic from Veronica Mars
Yeah.
and from Party Down.
Yeah.
Rob Thomas classic.
Did you
and
hear
then
the are we having fun yet during the second half?
No.
Oh, it's a Party Down reference. It made me laugh so
We
hard.
should expect a zombie breakout or zombie fight, like full on zombie fight, at the end of every single season of iZombie. Because we got it last season with Meet Cute, and that
Yeah.
came full circle now, and
Also,
now we
I
got
love
extra
the villain
zombies.
names. Like you've got Fillmore Graves or the
Fillmore Graves.
is the name of
Get
the
it?
paramilitary. Although that was a little weird to me. Do paramilitary companies buy soft drink companies? Like
Not
They want
traditionally.
Superman.
Yeah.
Superman.
When they're able to prove that they can give people super strength.
it's just we saw DeClark with his whole ad for Supermax. So they were very pushing that he was going to put it out on the market, and then suddenly he just sells it to a thing that kind of felt like
A
out
bit
left
of a
field.
bait and switch.
Yeah.
and he sold his
Yeah.
whole company.
Yeah, the whole thing,
Lock,
not just the
stock, and
drink, the
barrel.
whole thing.
Yep.
I don't understand, but he was great. For the first half, the first part,
Yeah.
it was really super solid. It even escalated even more to the second part. I'm gonna definitely go back and watch the whole season 2. It's not that
Definitely.
long, right?
No,
like
it's
20
not.
No, it's
Yeah, it's-
19 episodes.
Oh, I thought they were gonna get the full.
No, they did a little bit of a shorter season, but they still got a season 3, so
They
no
did.
reason to be sad.
And then Drake.
Yeah.
Poor Drake. That was another nitpick from the first episode we watched, is that Drake, Liv thought the bodies were taken and killed. So in her mind, Drake is dead. And then at the end of the episode, they're all partying and hanging out. And then she has her vision like, yeah, but you think your boyfriend's dead.
No, she knows that. Oh, yeah, I guess she wasn't sure.
Until she had the vision, like, oh, they're all alive. Wouldn't you be a little down like this guy?
Well, it didn't seem like she was partying. Like, they were trying to have an upbeat get together because, they got in Major and prevented the apocalypse.
And ruined Clive's life, yeah.
Right.
And then, but the way they handled, I was bummed that we didn't get a little bit more Drake. Because
he was a hero to the very end.
I think you needed the gut. If they wanted you to feel the worst you could possibly feel, he couldn't have. He couldn't have been normal.
Maybe one more scene before he finally
turns.
Yeah, but it was a great payoff. I loved Major and Liv's relationship. That even though there's got to be a little bit of jealousy there, he's still there for her. And I love that they set up that they were on Jenko's brain. They were on the badass brain for the zombie apocalypse.
So that they
Such
could
a good setup.
I know, it was so great. Look, you can make nitpicks all you want. I saw things in the chat about what happened to the younger brother and the mom from the beginning of the season.
They were boring, so they got rid of them.
Exactly. They were like, you know what? Is this boring? It is, isn't
dragging
it?
you down.
Let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
Great.
That party.
It would be great if all shows did that.
That
Arrow.
party was pretty dope. If I'm gonna be honest,
The
whole prison party.
I loved the one time a character did what you wanted them to do in the show. When that prison, when the
security guard
sees them running up and he's getting the keys, and then he's like, "No, fuck it." I was like, "Good, you should go." I'm sorry, all the rest of you in the party, but we need to save the world.
Sorry, yeah, he is the real hero by running away,
Yeah.
and I liked Rob Thomas's reaction. He's like. Or just his expression as you see it unfolding.
And the guy playing
because they were eating
guitar.
primo Rob Zombie brain, so he was able to do all the songs.
I was so sad.
Do you guys think that Fillmore Graves' lady was a zombie prior to this?
Well, that's a good question.
Because she jumped towards, hey, Seattle's going to be ground zero for Zombieland real quick.
Yeah, well, that's the question, right? Because how did she become a zombie? Because zombies are supposed to all be in Seattle, because that's where Utopian
looked
is.
Across the world in the Skype call, the first episode.
Right. It seemed to me that she got scratched by an ordinary zombie somehow, maybe, during this altercation, and seeing the potential of zombies and feeling what it's like to be one now. That was her plan, but what?
Okay,
Sam,
so
Sam has a point.
Sam has a point.
So
Everybody,
she's been a zombie for a while. Let's assume that, and that's why she went out of her way to buy
the Supermax thing.
She needs more soldiers.
Yeah.
That's why they were all there.
I do like how even that was we make it worse. Oh man, you thought Clark, who just wanted to make a buck and was running company, was bad. Now a paramilitary organization owns it and wants to make Seattle a zombie city.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would you want it to be a zombie city?
Now,
you're a zombie.
Can I ask a question? So we established mathematically in this episode that Tainted Utopium plus Max Rager creates zombies.
But
And
specifically,
Liv style.
I love that was another word. This is the Tainted Utopium from the boat, and you're like, oh, that's what Robbie's been needing all this time.
Yeah,
let's mix
just
it with
snort
Supermax.
it. Yeah, exactly. So when you don't eat brains and you have that mixture, you're a Romero.
Yes.
So what are we going to call the Supermax zombies where it's
Utopium.
Supermax plus Tainted Utopium?
They are terrifying.
Yeah, they're throwing people.
Right. Are they Boyles for 28 Days Later, or are they Snyders for Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead?
Please, Boyles. Let's go with Boyles. Please.
Okay.
That's not exactly frightening, though.
Yeah, Eon at Eon Warren
Snyder is
says.
frightening. Calling him Snyder's is frightening. Oh no, Snyder's.
Oh no, he's coming to ruin my franchise.
I'm glad that Clive wasn't scratched. I prefer him human.
They got right up to the edge on that one.
they
I
walked
imagine
right
them.
up to
I
it.
love them falling through it. Just
Yeah.
waiting.
And then there was moments where I'm every season I was worried about Ravi when he was fighting Janko. We got another good Ravi in the live. Don't fight with Ravi when he's in the fucking morgue because he will take you down.
Yes, he will.
I do not prefer No Memories Blaine. I find him more boring than normal Blaine because he's basically a blank slate.
He's nice.
Although there were he was kind of blaming I'm thinking about using you as a human shield when they were going to say Peyton. Do you think he was faking the whole memory loss?
I don't think he was faking the memory loss, but I think even though he doesn't remember all the horrible things he did, he is still that person.
Yeah.
Like, at its core,
then
he's still
I
the
would
same
like
guy.
to see more of that because the way they've been playing it is that he's kind of like, oh, what? Oh, I didn't.
I think
would
maybe
like
he's
to
playing it up a little bit because he is smart enough to know to take advantage of this situation.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I'm going to gather information, and I'm going to get as many people as I can to trust me until I can tell what I can do in this situation.
I did like him delivering the brains in the first part
Yeah.
of this two-parter. I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And then I had to look up, and you explained later what had happened. in
DJ,
the
Andrew
episodes
Walsh
between.
loves you so much that you can shag his sister.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for the
He's
offer.
married.
Sorry.
He's thrown off.
Do you think that was a this is all a play to kind of get Blaine on the side of the good guys now that he's a clean slate, or is this just to turn the screws like, oh, he's on the good guys, and then he comes back and he does something even worse than he's ever done?
I think it's
that.
probably the latter. At first, I thought that they were trying to make him into like a Spike Buffy situation.
Yeah.
But then they made him human again, so I'm not sure. I do like that the only reason that he goes in and saves Peyton the way that he does, it's entirely, he's trying to save her, but it is a selfish notion because Ravi says, which is not true, that he and Peyton were apparently involved.
Yeah,
because
they just slept together the one time.
Right.
But Ravi's thinking worst case scenario that they were a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So if that's all that Blaine knows about his relationship with her, he's going to try to save her because he thinks that she's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want Ravi to save her at all because he wants to get all the credit.
I was
is
really afraid
Blaine's-
Ravi was going to do something stupid and shoot one of them.
I thought so too. Is Blaine's dad still alive?
Yes.
Technically, right? He was frozen.
Wait,
He was frozen, but
ago?
he was not in
No.
that. He was not in that freezer. So unless he was killed
No,
ahead of
because
time,
remember Blaine brought him out. Blaine brought him out so he could change his will and stuff.
Oh
remember
yeah.
that?
Wait, what?
I think
He took him out of the freezer to change his will.
I think Dad is still around. Mr. Boss is still around. I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
Love Mr. Boss.
I thought they would kind of clean that up, but they didn't. Really.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna. I thought that they were gonna leave Rita, who got turned into a zombie, for season 2 as kind of the new head of Max Rager. But they nope. They clean. Major dropping down from the elevator shaft to cap her in the head.
Yeah.
Did you like the final death for the big bad of the season? Did
What do
like
you mean him getting torn apart?
Yeah.
I liked it.
And
Ranger
there-
leaves the axle. Good luck.
Oh yeah, and then here I like here's Major when
Yeah.
he opened the thing. With
Yeah, with the axe and everything.
That was pretty cool.
This show, it really does blow my mind that tightrope rock of having fun, but the stakes are so high. And I think it does. You really like the characters, and you really are concerned for them when stuff happens to them. Like you think about them as the like I was you've ruined Clive's life,
Right.
and that hurts me.
Well, here's and
Clive
here's,
is such a good guy that he
Yeah.
did. He was like, yeah, I'll let Major out.
Yep. That's exactly what I'm going to do, even if
Yeah.
it blows up my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that he's not a zombie. I think we need to try to keep our zombie to human ratio pretty balanced
Yeah.
on the show. Otherwise, it just becomes the zombie show.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned. I'm excited. I'm excited because they stuck the landing in season 2, and usually a show that has a very strong season 2 has an even stronger season 3. It's like season 2 into season 3 is like that sweet spot when you've got a great show with great showrunners.
Arrow showed us that.
Arrow shows.
Going for a great season 2. I had another.
Maybe I'm wrong.
We still need to solve.
No, I mean, I
I'm
know
just
what you
thinking. I'm
mean.
thinking of Fringe mostly.
we still need to solve Major's
right.
issue because Major's still got on a ticking clock. Now
Right.
that the cure for the zombieism.
No, he's a zombie.
Yeah, and then you die.
You don't stay a zombie?
No,
Oh, because the
that's right.
zombie rat
The zombie
did die.
rat.
You're
You
absolutely
go from
right.
human back to zombie to dead. So Major's still on a ticking clock that they got to figure
Was that
out.
discussed?
Not
Not
in this
in this
episode,
finale.
but yeah, which is why Blaine took the cure because he was dying. He thought he was dying, and that took his memory. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
okay,
excited for season
what's the
3.
most that? Okay, if I think you said the rules were that his memory kind of reset to before he was a zombie.
No,
right?
it kind of like reset total, didn't it?
It's very vague.
It's
Yeah,
vague.
yeah.
Okay, so if
It's-
it did, the most he would lose is maybe a year of when he was a mass murderer. So I think Major's pretty good on like forgetting that part.
Yeah.
But whatever the rules of amnesia are that you guys set up over at iZombie,
Or
love the show.
love
What,
the show.
what are you guys' ratings?
On this, I'll give it a 9. 9 on 9 or higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I together I would give it a 10 out of 10. It's
Nice.
some of the most entertaining TV I've watched in a long time.
I did want Rob Thomas zombie, but it's fine. That's why we got
Zom
some
Thomas.
Yeah, little Zob
Yeah.
Thomas.
I'll give it a 9.5.
I thought
Really
when
good.
I saw the articles like Rob Thomas is on iZombie, and I was like, wow, the showrunner is on the
No,
episode.
yeah,
That-
exactly.
I don't know why I was excited, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's
Yeah.
Rob Thomas.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fun.
What a
What a
fun
treat.
reference. Number 5. I'm going to do my pull list real quick.
Yes, please.
And then we'll wrap this up. Guys, over at DC, we got Superman American Alien number 6.
Dope.
Really solid Superman series. It's just a Superman week over at DC because we've also got Superman Lois and Clark number 7, which I've heard really good things about. And also, that is the Superman, the pre-New 52 Superman, that will be our Superman going into Rebirth. So if you want to kind of catch up on who Superman's going to be in Rebirth, you might want to check out Superman Lois and Clark. Over in the indie world, if you guys have not checked out Chew, I recommend it. It is very fun.
It's very similar to iZombie.
It's a very fun indie comic over at Image. They have these one-off comics following a character called Pollo that is a badass assassin chicken.
Of course.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
And so this is a new one of those. So it's Chew, Demon Chicken Pollo, number 1. So check that out. Now, normally I try to keep it's like 2 DC, 2 indie, 2 Marvel, but all my favorite Marvel comics are coming out next week. So we're going to do a little Marvel heavy version of the pull list. We've got Power Man and Iron Fist number 3. If you're excited about Luke Cage, if you like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, I can't recommend this series more. It is so much fun. Also, Spider-Man Deadpool number 4. We were talking about it earlier-ish, maybe, if it might have gotten cut off. Really great. Joe Kelly, going back to the character that he helped define. If you love Deadpool, you have Joe Kelly to thank because he's the one that made him the character that we know today. And also, Totally Awesome Hulk number 5.
I've heard great things about Totally Awesome Hulk.
It's totally awesome.
It's totally awesome.
Yeah, Amadeus Cho is the Hulk, and he's fighting Fing Fang Foom and other giant monsters, and it's really...
Killer.
It's really cool. I can't recommend it more.
You
The art
didn't.
is killer.
You recommended it last week, but Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover
that came out this week.
This week,
yeah.
and the end of the comic. There's only going to be one more next month, but the end of this comic was like it was the perfect blend of Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Awesome.
The one I didn't even know I wanted, but as soon as I happened, I was like, "This is so cool."
Yeah.
Okay, that's my recommendation to go pick up.
There you go.
And one last piece of news that dropped earlier that I completely forgot to mention. It was announced that one of the members of A Tribe Called Quest is doing the score for Luke Cage for the series.
Very cool.
So it's going to have like a really cool 90s hip-hop feel, which
Very cool.
makes me really excited.
That's awesome.
Real excited for that show.
We made it, guys.
We
did it. Things,
Hell yeah.
Issues aside, next week, Supergirl's big finale. We're going to be talking about that. Flash comes back.
Flash comes back. Arrow comes back?
No, Arrow comes back
Flash
the week
comes
following.
back with versus Zoom.
Flash versus
And hopefully we'll deal with all the J's.
Yep.
All
too
the
many
J's.
J's.
Yeah, too many J's.
Uh-huh.
Sam, you got any plugs?
Yeah, go ahead and check out my personal channel. Just search Sam Basher. You can watch my show Tub Talk, Sam's Tiny Place. But also, biggest thing, go watch the spoiler-free... Wow, I spit a lot when I said spoiler. Watch the spoiler-free Civil War review on SourceFedNERD's YouTube channel. You're right there already. Just go ahead and click the button. Go and watch the review. Don't worry. It's spoiler-free. We promise. We were so careful. There's also red carpet interviews from the premiere.
Reddit carpet?
There's
Reddit
Reddit interviews with
Yeah.
the cast of Luke Cage, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and a bunch of other people. It's a great time, and I know you guys will enjoy it.
All right.
At
DJ.
DJ Talks Trash, everywhere that matters.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Twitter, Matt Lieberman. Not much going on for me. Continue to tune into this show every Friday live, 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We love you guys. Thanks for sticking around. We'll see you next week.